Hello, and welcome. Ah yes, the summer is approaching and so is our brand new crop of anime. While others are outside enjoying the surf and the sun, us weebs will be further researching all the exciting new ways to get isekai'd. And that's not much of an exaggeration because wow, there's a lot of isekai coming out, as well as plenty of other anime in this upcoming season. So I'm going through all the new upcoming anime that will leave you impressed, depressed, or mating-pressed this summer season, which is why you should join me as I continue my journey to discover the perfect anime. Starting of course with all of her sequels, and the big headline for this season is Koshitantan Season 2. Oh yeah, I was so into the first season, and while it was heavily carried in the beginning by the outstanding first episode, I don't think that was the only great part of the series, as I've seen some discourse about online. Koshitantan captivated me for all of its episodes, and Nokonoko has been cooking this year with Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, this, and another anime I'll cover soon. But there's also been a lot of hype for Fairy Tail. Yes, that's right, Fairy Tail, in the year 2024. Now, I never really got into this series when it was still ongoing, but what concerns me is the fact that JC staff is just absolutely loaded with projects this year, so I hope that they're able to deliver for all the Fairy Tail fans out there. Tower of God is coming back, and this might be the first manhwa adaptation to get a second season, but don't quote me on that. I know Solo Leveling is getting a sequel later on too. There's a second part of Nier Automata's anime until it's inevitably delayed again. Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World Season 2, and I am very much looking forward to this because the OP will be done by Aaliyah, and this is a 4th season in a row where Aaliyah will be making either an OP or an ED, and the last 3 were all certified knee slappers. Those anime also do not have a mouse score higher than a 6, so good luck out there. Alright, what else gets a sequel? So, Shy from The Fall gets a second season, as does The Cafe Terrace and Its Goddesses, and Kimi ni Todake gets a 3rd season. Okay, hold up. Season 2 was way back in 2011 and Season 1 in 2009. You know, right after Obama became president? For a series to get a new season this late, it's either a shameless cash grab or more likely in this case because the people involved genuinely care about the source material that much. Oh yeah, and Monogatari is also coming back too. But when it comes to new anime coming out, I'm not too sure what the big hyped up shows are going to be, but for one, it might be Suicide Squad Isekai. Yes, that's a name, and yes, this exists. And it's being written by Tappei, you know, the creator of Re:Zero, and it's being made by Studio Wit. This is like the dumbest idea yet, which is saying something. Though this is actually looking pretty interesting, I have high hopes, and I do trust Studio Wit. But interesting to note is that the ED will be done by Mori Calliope. Yes, that Mori Calliope, the VTuber, will be doing the ED for this anime. I'd love to see what other anime can get songs from VTubers as well.
Sing me all the love, I need all the love, I mean all of us. They don't fuck with me if we could. Pull up this stick and put you to wood.
Speaking of which, we've got VTuber Legend, how I went viral after forgetting to turn off my stream, where this VTuber is having dwindling success until one day she cracks open a cold case of fuck it, and just starts spouting all sorts of obscenities, vulgarities, and blasphemies on live stream. I'm sure half of her stream comments are I can fix her, and the other half are she could break me. Moving from computer screen to weeb dreams, you have 2.5 dimensional seduction. Now, in my first seasonal preview video, I made a joke about ranked competitive sex, and in my last one I made a joke about ranked competitive bullying. So I'm continuing the trend because this anime is about ranked competitive cosplaying. Now, I've been to my fair share of cons and have gotten to know quite a few cosplayers, so whatever happens in this anime, I am going to fully believe that everything shown is true. This isn't an anime, it's a documentary. And with another JC staff anime, there's Delico's Nursery, which has a unique art style that kinda reminds me of Mushoku Tensei, but still, this is JC staff, so the animation quality can go in any direction. This upcoming season looks like it's going to have a whole bunch of fantasy/isekai anime as well as romance anime, so I'm going to divide most of the rest of the video into talking about either of these, starting with the fantasy/isekai. and you have the following light novel adaptations, so... Failure frame, I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells. A journey through another world, raising kids while adventuring, and the middle-aged newbie adventurer trained to death by the strongest party became unbeatable. I'm sure the shows will be great. Actually, for the failure frame one, I think the concept of an entire classroom being isekai'd is a great idea. I liked how in the wrong way to use healing magic, how the MC got isekai'd with 2 of his classmates. But this is definitely along the lines of, I have the most useless skill until I show that I'm actually the most powerful. I mean, heck, the key visual just reminds me of Berserk of Gluttony, which is the last anime I watched in this field. The strongest magician of the Demon Lord's army was a human, has an MC named Ike, who's a paragon of might for the Demon Lord's army, and is an isekai protag holding a secret from said army. And that secret is that he is in fact Dwight D. Eisenhower. I parry everything, which is a perfect name because I'm going to parry this show. Dungeon people, which just sounds wrong saying that out loud. If there are any orcs watching this, I apologize for saying something that I have no doubt was extremely offensive. No longer allowed in another world might actually be a bit interesting. It's about real-life author Osamu Dazai, and I'm sure that this is the first anime where he's the main character. But he gets isekai'd into a fantasy world where he's not actually thrilled about being there, and instead wants to die. Oh, that got, well, in other news, there's Wisteria, Wand and Sword. The trailer is pretty good for this one, and if it really doubles down and focuses on the swordplay, I'm sure it'll stand out from a packed fantasy season. Dahlia and Bloom also looks like it'll stick out from the rest of the isekai. It's about a woman who gets isekai'd from being overworked to death. Hey, Japan, you doing okay? You want to talk about this? And she focuses her new life on crafting and developing her skills. If this is half as good as 7th Time Loop was, this is going to be a great series. And I also have high hopes for Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World. I've heard great things about the source material, and if done well, I'm sure this could be a surprise hit this season. There's a magical girl and the evil lieutenant used to be archenemies, where you've got a fantasy anime that may or may not become a romance between the villain and the hero, which is a perfect way to segue to the romance section of this video. Giji Harem. Okay, this looks like a lot of fun. So, you know how in Mrs. Doubtfire, where Robin Williams pretends to be a nanny for half of the movie and is able to fool most people? Well, imagine if Robin Williams instead became Robin Williams. 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 I think you get the point. It's a harem anime where all the girls are actually the same girl. And of course, there's Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, the third Dogakobo anime that we're getting this year. That's right, everybody, it's a Dogakobo summer. Too Many Losing Heroines seeks to rectify the issue of the girl who doesn't win. Now, I'm a 100 Girlfriends fan, and this is something that I can get behind. Girls, you all deserve love out there no matter how many bow ties you choose to wear. The era of the losing girl is coming to an end. Twilight Out of Focus is an upcoming BL anime, and the whole focus on being in a film club is actually a pretty neat idea. I'm surprised I haven't seen too many anime like that before. Senpai's Nokonoko seems to be a pretty cute high school slice-of-life love triangle, cross-dressing, gender role-defying anime that I'm sure everybody had on their bingo cards for this year. Koi wa Futogo de Warikiranai is a love triangle anime where it looks like the MC needs to choose between 2 sisters, but then there's also Days with My Stepsister. Now, a few years ago, we got an anime called My Stepmother's Daughter is My Ex, which also has a pretty Alabama-inspired title, but that one ended up being a big surprise for me, and it painted a very realistic portrayal of a breakup where neither party was at fault and was an enjoyable anime in its own right. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing here.
What are you doing, step bro?
We've also got My Wife Has No Emotion, and there's another robot anime airing this summer called Atri, My Dear Moments, but I'm pretty sure Futurama made a good case why we shouldn't date robots. Maybe these anime can convince me otherwise. There's a few other anime I could shout out here at the end. For instance, Plus Size Elf. Oh hell yeah, this is the kind of anime you watch wearing a suit and tie. I'll definitely cover this one in my next elf video unless she covers me first. How to Become Ordinary is a new anime by Lapentrak, who made Undead Girl Murder Farce last summer, which was a pretty underrated anime. I want to go into this one completely blind. I don't know what the story is, but it's looking absolutely gorgeous, so I'm excited. We got 2 new anime originals being Manaka Punch and Nare Nare Cheer For You. They're both done by PA Works, so you know that anything can happen and they're going to be absolutely fire. Oh, and PA Works is also doing Sakana of Race and Ruin, which is an adaptation of a video game. The Elusive Samurai, which is more historical fiction than fantasy, is being done by Cloverworks. They're doing a really good job with Windbreaker lately, and the trailer is amazing for this series. And finally, what will probably be the biggest hit of the season, My Dear Friend Nokonoko. I've watched the trailer multiple times and I decisively have no clue what this show is about. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that I am so looking forward to this. This is what people who don't watch anime think about when they think about anime. I'm glad most anime end up being more normal than you'd think, because that just allows the truly bizarre and zany ones out there to catch your eye more. I'm sure you've already come across the whole Shikanoko Koshitantan. Shikanoko Koshitantan already, so just prepare to hear it as much as you've already heard bling bamba bling bamba bling bamba born, and almost as much as you've heard Daima game wa obarete kimi wa kanpeki de kokoku no idol. In other words, this anime will no doubt bring us one step closer to finding the perfect anime. Alright, that about wraps things up. There's 40 of the anime coming out soon, and of course there are other anime I didn't mention, such as continuing shows like My Hero Academia, Spice and Wolf, Sengoku Yoko, and Mission Yozakura Family. Bring the grand total of anime this summer to way too much, but don't forget to go outside and wear sunscreen while you're at it. I know there's so many fantasy and romance anime coming out, but if you're like me and those are your favorite genres, then you're gonna be eating well. And let me know which anime you're going to watch this coming summer. I haven't even come close to deciding what I'm going to watch yet, so I'm all ears. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to sub for more. Doing things a bit differently this time with the seasonal preview video coming out before the spring tier list, but that'll be next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.